Hello Star Wars fans, Mando Mitchy back today, and this time we're going to be looking at a restoration on a vintage Kenner R5-D4. So you can see I've got three different vintage Kenner options here on the R5 unit, and this is one that I picked up not too long ago as I started to collect vintage Kenner, and this thing is really nice. You can see a little, maybe just a touch of discoloring on the legs, but overall, if you look at the kind of the chromed areas, the sticker, this thing for the era it was created in is so nice. So this is going to go in my collection of, as I endeavor to get all the Kenner action figures with accessories, and that one really passes my criteria as far as going to go in my display. So I won't have that in dioramas or use for anything else. I've set that one aside, but I've got these other two, and I have found nicer versions of these. But what I'm wanting to do is I purchased a vintage Kenner sandcrawler, and I'm going to be restoring that. It needs some work, and there's just a lot of other displays and things that I want to do with the vintage Kenner figures as I'm picking up the play sets and ships and creatures and all that. So really to restore some of these and bring them back a little bit is really my goal. I'm not going to resell them. I have no plans of trying to make a profit or anything like that, so don't get upset if you see me working on something. This is just for my personal display and my personal collection. And you can see this front one. This guy, man, you want to talk about rough. I'd like to meet the kid that played with him. I mean, this guy, the chrome back metal or whatever on that ring, that stuff's gone. The sticker's gone. Man, he is about as dirty and grimy as you could find. He's just so rough. And I started to wonder if maybe they made some of these without the metal on that piece, and maybe a variant or something like that. I don't know, but I see this one has it. It needs a little bit of work. It's not near as bad. Maybe a new sticker is going to bring this one back, but this guy, man, he's tough. So I got to taking this guy apart, and as I was looking at this, you can tell he's been wet. The screw was rusted in there. I was able to get him popped apart, but you can tell that there is remnants of that shiny paint app on there. It's just all but gone. So nothing's broken on this. It is kind of grody and terrible. Yellowed a little bit in places. So what I'm going to do is go through the process. I'm going to get all the residual goo and all that off of the legs, off of the main body. We're going to try to get maybe bring that white color back with a method of soaking that in sunlight and peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, and do that and then get a nice sticker set and see if we can bring this guy back a little bit and make him worthy of diorama and display and Mando Mitchy's setups that he's got. So yeah, I think that he's going to be a nice project. Like I've said before, I'm a sucker for a restoration. If I see something that I think I can bring it back versus it's just going to get, pitched in a drawer, or maybe somebody ultimately just get rid of it because it's not worthy of maybe, their collection of 96 or whatever that would be, I would rather try. So yep, I'm going to document a little bit more on this process, and as I go through the steps, and bring you guys along to maybe you have some droids that you need to redo. We're going to take a look and see what it looks like. We can see right now, man, this guy is rough. Maybe he should be in pieces and parts on a sandcrawler. I don't know. But I'm crazy enough just to try to bring you back. So let's go to work. Let's get him cleaned up let's see what we can accomplish and see what it looks like, and then compare it to this very nice R5 that I've got for my display purposes. All right, got this guy disassembled, cleaned up. Man, he was pretty grimy. But you can see, yeah, the legs turned out pretty nice. There was just so much just goo and ugh in there. So I use simple green, which is just a basic industrial type cleaner to start with, and then I go with the Dawn power wash at the end, and that really does a good job on this plastic. So got the residual, most of the residual stuff from the sticker cleaned off, and didn't think that it was just colored, but now that I get that sticker off and look at the rest, yeah, you can see sunlight or something has yellowed this. So if you look, I don't know on camera if it's pretty obvious or not, but you can see two different shades of white there. So yeah, definitely some yellowing. So instead of just going back and trying to do some paint work on this and new stickers, I think I'm going to try to whiten this some and experiment a little bit with it. So we'll that usually takes a few days, so we'll go with that and be back once we see what that looks like, and we'll show you the results of that. So here is my method of de-yellowing, and you can see the parts for R5-D4 in there, and a couple of other vintage kind of a yellowed Stormtrooper and weird spots, and a yellowed Snowtrooper. So what I do, I've got a nice arch top window in my kitchen. My wife just loves it. I have these guys right up there doing what they do until they're ready. Huh. All right, making progress. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what we were able to do with the R5 droid that we've been wanting to do some restoration and maybe some customizing on. So you can see he was pretty yellowed as I cleaned him up and we removed all that. So there was a big difference, I thought, between him and my really nice R5. And you can see now the whites are pretty close. You can see the oranges on this is faded a little bit. It's a little different color, but much closer to what it would have been. So yeah, so what it did was I whitened that. He went through the peroxide process to where we were able to take the yellowing out. My Snowtrooper, he's looking great. The Stormtrooper, he's still in the peroxide back to tank, trying to get up to speed. So what I did with this, there was no silver. So really, I mean, chrome plating is like back metal. That's a whole nother process that I can't do, not currently. So what I did was went in with like a sterling silver paint. And so my thought was, I'm not going to be able to make it look like it did from the factory, but to make it look better than that yellowed, terrible plastic. So looking at this, much improved, definitely not going to be restored, definitely would never be mint. And you can see the other one I have here that I'm going to do some work on. It's close to that. Granted, you know, my nice display quality mint droid is much nicer than both of these, but yeah, I think this is going to do okay for what I'm wanting to do. So next step is we're going to put, we got him basically ready to go, other than stickers. So what I did was purchased the stickers from the PDF file from Toy Polloi, and you can see on here I've got 4 different sets, and as I'm restoring I'll have this, but you can see there's an OEM R2, an OEM R5-D4, and then battle damaged sets to do some customization. And one thing that I did notice, and I don't know if it's maybe my printer or just the quality on that, as far as what I got, but you can see that the oranges are a little bit different. So yeah, some variations, and it might just be the color of the toner and the printer that I use. So definitely some differences. So what I think I'm going to do, since I'm probably going to use this droid in some dioramas, either with my Kenner Sandcrawler, or, you know, I might put him in the Y-Wing or do something else with him like that. So battle damage, either way, is going to look kind of cool, like he's got problems. So I think we're going to go with the battle damage stickers. We're going to go with one. Let me get those stickers applied. We'll do the assembly, and we'll come back and take a look and see what this guy looks like in the end. All right, here is the finished project. So I'd say a custom, restored and custom R5-D4. So you can see he's got the battle damage, and yeah, he turned out pretty nice. For what he looked like, he was not displayable or even diorama material, other than if I guess you took him apart for the purchase of the droids maybe. And I've got other things I could do that with. But yep, we cleaned him up, did a little inlaid paint on the silver part there, and did as well as we could with that. Did some other touch up there. We did the peroxide treatment and sunlight and got him to come back to a decent color. And yeah, you definitely not the display quality that I'm looking for in collecting the 96, but you know, my thought is I want to have those in a case by themselves, just on display. That Kenner history and that collection that I want to have as I'm working through this. But I also want to have all these vehicles and the playsets and the dioramas and stuff set up. So you need figures for that too. So I think, man, why not take something that is just almost beyond repair and bring it back to life? So for you Kenner police out there that are going to hate me, I apologize. But I think in this condition, you know, I'm not going to sell him. And if I do, he's obviously a custom and someone can pay what they think it's worth. I'm not going to try to counterfeit in that. And if you disagree, hey, agree to disagree. But I love doing this work. I think that he turned out really great, and he's going to look really good in some of the displays. So with my other vintage Kenner action figures. So very good. So we'll take some pictures and sign off with a little bit of toy photography. If this is content that you enjoy and you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe. If there's something you'd like to see, maybe a restoration project or something that you have questions on or you'd like me to consider doing, put that in the comments. I'd be glad to do it. I'm always working on a restoration, always buying a pile of junk and trying to turn it in and resurrect it into something that is displayable in my collection, or maybe something someone else would like to have in there. So like and subscribe. Again, thanks for tuning in. God bless. This is Mando Mitchy. See you next time. I'm signing off.